It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the world of learning new concepts and current trends, so let's start. You've spent weeks designing conceptual models and normalizing tables. Now, we turn that blueprint into a living database using Data Definition Language, or DDL. These SQL commands instruct MySQL to construct your tables and relationships exactly as designed. It might be tempting to click through a graphical interface to build your tables, but that approach is brittle. If you make a mistake, you have to manually click through menus to find and fix it. The professional standard is to write a plain text script from scratch. Adopting this script-first workflow means your database can be rebuilt perfectly in seconds. It prevents manual errors and produces the exact reproducible evidence required for Assessment 2. We start by building our independent parent tables. These are the entities that do not rely on any other tables to exist, like an author or a customer. For each attribute in your ERD, you assign a specific MySQL data type. For instance, a phone number should be defined as a string, like varchar, rather than an integer. Phone numbers often start with zeros or include formatting characters, and you never perform mathematical calculations on them. We wrap these columns in a create table statement. Right in line with the column definitions, we apply our primary key to uniquely identify each row and use null-null constraints to ensure required fields never accept empty values. You must establish these independently verifiable parent tables first. They act as the load-bearing pillars for your schema, providing the required targets for the rest of your database relationships. Once the parent is established, we can build the dependent child tables. These entities contain foreign keys linking back to the parent. This creates a strict execution order. You cannot reference a table that does not yet exist. If you try to create a child table before its parent, MySQL will reject the script. To link them, we define a foreign key. The syntax requires two parts: explicitly naming the local column in the child table, and then mapping it to the specific primary key column in the referenced parent table. Properly sequenced execution and exact foreign key references enforce your referential integrity. This is the mechanism that turns a collection of isolated tables into a true relational database. A professional script must be capable of running flawlessly from scratch, even if you run it 100 times in a row. To do this, we add drop table if exists commands at the very top of our file to clear out old versions before the new tables are created. The teardown order follows a strict rule. You must drop the child tables before the parent tables. If you try to drop a parent while a child still references it, the database will throw a constraint error. It is the exact reverse of your creation order. This ERD transformation shows a many-to-many relationship between author and book, being resolved by a new associative entity called worked on. Let's test your understanding of execution order and syntax. Pause the video and attempt to write the create table syntax for this worked on table. Pay close attention to how you define the composite primary key and the foreign keys. Because it relies on both author and book, this table must be created last. Inside the statement, you define the two foreign keys referencing the parent tables, and then combine those exact two columns into a single primary key. Correctly scripting a junction table proves you understand both execution order and strict foreign key syntax. It is the highest hurdle in schema creation. When your script is complete, you can execute the entire file at once. A well-ordered script runs cleanly, populating your output log with green success indicators from top to bottom. To mathematically verify that the physical database matches your ERD, you run the describe and show create table commands. This confirms your constraints and data types are exactly where they should be. To recap the core DDL build rules: work script first, build parents before children, drop children before parents, match data types carefully, and strictly enforce referential integrity. Internalizing the sequence prevents critical deployment errors down the line. It ensures your database behaves predictably and directly produces the foundational evidence required for Assessment 2.